is Liquid HerO, keeping the brown hair, looking pretty good with it. I like his brown actually more than any other color he's chosen. He's gone all sorts of ways with his hair before. Even red, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I like the red for him, actually. I like the red for you, too. You're going to do that eventually.
Yeah, everyone keeps telling me, so maybe I will. Disregard the parental advisory sign in the background. This is totally fine for kids to watch. There's no explicit content here, except sometimes when Terror plays and loses. Now, Salvation is playing here. He's 1-3. His only win actually comes against a Protoss or a player that we beat. It was Stork. Oh, no, that was Ainz. I'm getting my Terrans on Prime to get a bit
getting your rookie Terrans messed up here.
But I'm not sure who it was he beat. It was a while ago, if I'm not mistaken. But it was an impressive win. And I got to say, he could do it again. HerO is not in his best form right now. He did have the downward arrow. And if he wins it, though, he'll bring us to a tie game. Can Prime continue the momentum here? A momentum I feel they sorely need if they want to have any hope of getting to those playoffs. Not only for round 4 playoffs, but also for the final playoffs there at the end. They are in dire straits. The map is up and loaded. Let's jump into game number 2 for IM versus Prime.
SK-Telecom.
Down here in the bottom right in the blue for Incredible Miracle, it is HerO.
Great hair right now. Down here at the bottom right in blue, the Protoss. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just got the colors confused there. I'm like, just let me start over. Can we like do it? Cut. Oh, Wolf. Oh, no, this is a 7th take. You guys don't know, so like Pro League's not actually live. Like we just do a bunch of takes and then play them live and trick you guys into thinking it's live. It's like Jeopardy or something. But no. It's Salvation to the top left in purple.
Yeah. Prime purple. Sporting the purple.
Sporting it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. Look at this.
Yeah. He. Some people will do this with their rallies.
Looks like a perfect star, man. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. I remember the first time that it was shown in the alpha at one of the battle reports that you could actually see the rally. Someone was making a star. That's where I was talking about it. That was a long time ago. I think it's pretty cool. Some players are known for doing this. I think Huck is most known for doing this. He likes to...
he likes to do hearts, right?
Oh, I think he likes to do triangles or something like that. Maybe a pentagon.
Really?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, he does hearts. Yeah, he does hearts.
You like totally fooled me. I'm like, really? Whoa.
Yeah, he's very famous for that. I used to watch Huck stream like all the time. It was my favorite stream to watch.
Yeah, man, me too.
Before I came to Korea.
I was an up-and-coming Protoss player. I'm like, I got to learn how to play Protoss, man. Who better than Huck?
Yeah, Huck, a great Protoss player. I hope he comes back to Korea one day. I'd love to see him playing in Pro League and just training in Korea. Nice little scout here for Salvation, making sure that HerO is not up to any messy, sneaky shenanigans. It looks like HerO is going to just come in here, take an early probe scout, find out whether or not he's up against a Reaper, and we'll respond accordingly. I don't know if he saw the SCV scouts coming across, so yeah, he's going to make the Zealot, so yeah, he's probably got an idea of what that's coming. Even going to deny some mining here, something that Huck is also known for. Huck and HerO had like a great relationship back in OGS. Yeah. See them streaming, talking to each other all the time. Just to put that anecdote out there.
Yeah. And of course that probe is going to see the gas and is going to know that a Reaper is coming his way. He has very good building placement back at home. Going to deny that a pathway behind the minerals for the Reaper with the gateway and the cybernetics core. And that pylon there is going to be annoying as well.
Well, let's see if Salvation gets as much damage done with his Reaper to the Zealot. As we saw Fantasy do in our previous match today. I don't think so, but the Zealot is getting pretty far. He's actually trying to sneak around. He's found here. Oh yeah, he's actually going to lose a lot of hit points for sure.
Mothership Core is out and is going to drive it away.
Oh, only losing shields.
Yeah. Now the Zealot going to come back in the base, be safe, nice and home.
You can almost think of the Reaper actually as having no hit points but only shields because of how it works.
Yeah,
it
it's actually
recovers
true.
out of combat.
It's regeneration. Look at that building placement. Not going to be able to go behind the minerals. This Mothership Core is just going to have a much easier time of denying that scout.
And so far, pretty straight up builds here for these two. Probably see the robotics dropped here in just a second. Seems to be what HerO is thinking. Although, as the gas goes above 100, could certainly be a Stargate. Oh, there's the Robo. Just, you know, either possibility is there. The Robo, the much more common, much more standard approach.
Yeah.
And we have Widow Mines up for Salvation.
Yeah. Factory gets completed. Widow Mines on the way. HerO right away taking a name to that rocks there. Just wants to kill that first, make it easier for his building placement.
Looks at the rocks and he's like, "Know my name, it's HerO, and I will destroy you." The rock's like, "I'm just a rock. I have armor, but that's it. I swear I wasn't.
I don't have any money. Why are you doing this to me?"
I wasn't built. I didn't have the intention to block your building placement here. I swear it was all the map maker." You know, it was his intelligent design of this map. It wasn't my own free will to block your. Oh, please don't shoot me.
Well, they do die, unfortunately, for the rocks. And the Widow Mine is out, switches that with the, you know, the add-on there. The reactor is going to follow it up with this. And look at this, the Mothership Core getting really far out here.
Oh my God.
Survive just
Arguably,
barely.
he could have tried to trade the Marines for it. Don't know if it would have been a worthy trade. But he does decide to back off. And oh my God, is he going to... Oh, he's not going to scan kill it. Oh, look at this. Could we perhaps see Void Rays out of this? It could be Oracles too, but...
Very sneaky.
With the Forge, I think it's definitely going to be... well, actually, the Forge makes it very unlikely we're going to see like a Void Ray timing. Because I was thinking about, well, maybe he just makes it for cannons in his main because of the Widow Mines, but he's already got Observers out, so he doesn't need that.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, he's got extra gateways coming up, and definitely going to be aggressive with this Oracle.
Yep. Oracle going to be unscouted for a long amount of time, and as long as he can hold off his aggression at the front, which will be a lot harder because he does not have enough energy for another cannon here, Nexus Cannon. And here come a lot of units right at his front, and what does he have?
Well, he's got a whole lot of nothing. That's what that bait on that overcharge was for earlier. And Salvation coming over here, killing way too many Harvesters, and even actually trading a little bit against the army, keeping it at bay, keeping it away from his Hellions so he can continue to kill more probes. There's no real splitting on these probes at top left either. If he targets those, it's going to get even worse. And now it gets into the main base. Oh, no. No, this is HerO's worst nightmare come to reality. I mean, he's
nice
going to just lose more probes here.
But it's not enough. There's just
oh, no! Oh, my God. I almost had a heart attack. Oh, he still loses more, but those probes went into a line there using the force field against him, and the Oracle fights a Marauder.
Oracle spends so much energy on the Marauder and the Tech Lab.
Looks like he killed maybe like 2 SCVs and a Marauder.
Yeah. And on the other side of things, 22 Harvesters killed with that attack.
He hasn't even put all of his probes back to mining. I see 2-3 probes next to the assimilator on the minimap. Now they're going back, but if you're a Protoss player at 42 to 28, then it's like okay for the Terran because he has mules. But if you're the Terran player at 42 to 28, it's not okay because he has mules. And oh my God, even one more Hellion over here. Good micro by Salvation. Salvation and Prime today, they are taking this very seriously. 5 kills on that Hellion alone. And this bunker here set up with the repair. HerO doesn't even get anything done. He cancels his pile and he knows this is not going to work.
Yeah, I think the way you said it is perfect. Prime is just very well prepared for this, and Curious and HerO not playing so well. HerO, he's trying to be too tricky here. His Oracle build was nice, but Salvation just way too aggressive, and taking so much damage as HerO. Now he's got to claw his way back into the game. Salvation's like, okay, I know you have an Oracle, you have a proxy Stargate somewhere, but almost even takes out the Oracle. May do it here, does
get that Oracle. Things are getting worse and worse for here. Look at Salvation's face in the camera. He's like, he looks like somebody who just found out like he's gonna get the video game before the release day somehow. He's like, what? You know, like this is a very happy kid right now, and you know this matchup seems to work wonders for him somehow, some way. He's taking names, and I mean, looking at the situation here, HerO's not out of it yet, but he's lost so much momentum. that to take a third base is going to be incredibly difficult. His tech is behind because of the Stargate he committed to, so he's trying to get some Immortals out, but he doesn't have Colossi. His Robo Bay just finished. So this is a lot of pressure that he has to deal with now. He has the overcharge, but this means, okay, what about the main base? And what about that third base that you still don't have? By the way, I'm starting mine.
Yep. Getting his own upgrades as well. I mean, he's going to be at the doorstep of HerO for a while now. He's going to drop right now. He scans the main base. HerO knows this is coming, so he is going to deny it for now, but he can just wait until that Nexus Cannon goes down. He's going to have a ton of units coming across. He's making 2 Widow Mines at a time. He's got a huge force with that third base behind it. He's in a great position right now.
Yeah, and he's just going to keep poking. As soon as the overcharge is done, he's going to poke a little bit more heavily. First Colossus is on the way. The Twilight Council a bit of ways here. He scans, kills the Observer, and once the Vision is eliminated, goes towards the main base here. Sees 4 Stalkers. Could have maybe considered committing there, but he takes the smarter, the safer choice here. Is now going towards the natural. Hallucinated Colossus, will it scare him away? Don't think so, as it's now already gone. The Force Fields help out a little bit, but those units in the back can only be held for so long. He also has 2 Widow Mines he can move forward to do a bit of extra AoE damage, especially that extra splash to shields.
Yep, cannon goes down. Really nice force fields here. The real Colossi pops out here, and it's doing a lot of damage. The Widow Mines, I have to say, not doing anything, but do they get a shot? No.
Well, that was scary. 1 Widow Mine still active here, and it's very hard for him to actually move that Observer forward to kill it. Now he's going to do so. There's a lot of medevacs left over. He cleaned up the most of the ground army, but it's just that momentum with the third base that Salvation has. That's a big problem for HerO. And the drop threat is still there. He's got a large army that's back at home to back this up, and HerO's kind of stuck. It's going to be hard for him to actually catch up from here.
Yeah. We're seeing the factory now being floated. Going to be useful for some vision. Probably going to go out and scout that Stargate eventually. Look at this. He's got a huge army. Like you're saying, he has the tempo in his favor, and he's going to use it, man. Here comes another Oracle.
Not a bad choice, because Salvation somehow didn't find that. I guess he thought maybe it was a delayed one from the main base or something, but this is so cool. He's going to lose the Marine, but seeing this is worth it. It even delays it slightly. Widow Mine over here to deny a probe that comes over alone, and to kill anything that comes over without detection. Even a Marauder here to spot any possible move-outs because the Widow Mine's not there. Salvation is playing very, very well this game. I'm very impressed here. And look at this. Doesn't see the Stargate exactly, but knows the potential for Warp Prisms and other things are there. And scouting that Warp Prism not only detects the Warp Prism, but also the Oracles. It's just HerO's, like I said, worst nightmare come to life.
Yeah. We're seeing HerO now trying to tech up like with multiple things on 2 bases, and it's alright for now in terms of tech, but like just in the amount of army supply that Salvation has right now, he's up by almost 40. Look at the supply. It's a huge gap, and now he wants to move across the map. He knows that HerO's going to be forced to take a third base here, and he's like, okay, this is my time to attack, and he's going to go for it.
I mean, look at how many Marauders he's been able to build with that extra time, with that extra income. He sees his base, he's like, yeah, right.
It's like LOL.
He's like, I'm not even going to kill it. It's my charity to you. I'll kill it with 1 Marine. Can you stop that? Oh, you can't even stop 1 Marine? No. Okay, cancel that. Yeah, no third base still. I'm on a 4th coming up. Ghost coming out just in case of your Templar. I could kill you right now if I wanted to, but I'm kind of a nice guy. So I'll just kill your pylon over here and set up for the attack. He's got so many medevacs, so much healing power here. Got to be careful with the Vikings, though.
Yep, Vikings getting a little too far ahead of themselves there. But here's the drop. Does he have anything here? Yes, he does. Has 4 Marines and a bunch of Marauders ready for this kind of drop. And HerO sees that. He's like, nah, I'm not even going to warp in anymore.
This army difference here is all about the storms. If there are good storms which are not attended to, then suddenly maybe HerO finds his way back into this game. He's got a lot of High Templar, and the Ghosts are only just now starting to be produced.
Yeah. Salvation's delaying a little bit for those Ghosts that you were talking about, but still that gives HerO a lot of time here to build up his army. Looks like he is going to be okay for now because he is staying so long on 2 base. It gives him a lot of extra minerals, a lot of extra resources to use to build that army up.
Yep. And third Nexus gets dropped here again, but he's spread so thin. 3-3 is started before +2 is done, so upgrade lead for a Terran. A rare sight in this matchup.
And I like this. Salvation's actually drawing the army of HerO so far towards his base while going in towards the natural. You see a big ball of units here with this, and he's going to be able to snipe some High Templar now.
Snipes one High Templar, gets a second one, needs to starter step his way through and starts to do just that. The pylon there, he's not able to snipe it, so the units do finish. He comes over here to the third, spots that. Maybe able to get this pylon before he gets out, but he's keeping HerO off his back right now. Good feedback on that medevac, meaning there's not all these units are getting home. Oh, barely do they get home.
Yeah.
Fourth base being landed, though, before the third base is even ready to be secured here for HerO is just another example of how, how Salvation is ahead. But consider this, food for thought here. In this matchup, the late game is where the Protoss shines. The AoE is hard to balance for the Terran. How many Vikings they have versus how many Ghosts do they make. So the longer game goes on with all the tech finishing up, with all the upgrades finishing up for HerO, even though he's not ahead in economy now, maybe he can take some key fights to come back. The game isn't over yet, but it's certainly Salvation favored right now.
Yeah, I mean, even we saw before when the whole army of Salvation was sitting outside that little, gap there in the map, we saw a really nice storm go down and actually forced Salvation back for a bit here, but the next fight is going to be the big one. We see a gigantic army coming across for Salvation, but with that counterattack, it's actually going to bring him back.
Yeah, and oh wow, even picks off the Warp Prism with all 4 Zealots. And it does bring him back here, but he's got a few units to buy time, so no critical damage will be done. Even cloaking his Ghosts here. Starts a nuke. I'm starting to realize this game is going pretty late, and that's one of the late game Terran units that you have in your arsenal that can help out quite significantly for harassment, because the Terran drop and eventually lose its utility. He's actually got a lot more damage done here than I thought he would, as there was a little bit of indecision about exactly where Salvation wanted to put his army there. He's killed a lot with those Zealots.
Yeah. But now a nice scan is able to pick off that Observer. And is there another one here for those cloaks? Ghosts? It doesn't look like it. And look at this. Moving forward, wants to get the EMPs and the snipes on those High Templar. And he's going to cut off that army from the third base of HerO. Look at all of those EMPs.
Those EMPs, the snipes as well. He's starting to pick off some more of those High Templar. And with all those Zealots without shields, this is not a good fight for HerO to take. Decent storm goes off here. And actually, you know what? That's a lot of army on the ground here for HerO. He's got this army surrounded. He's going to push this back.
Wow. That's incredible. He just has enough Zealots. Like, Salvation did really nicely in taking out all the Colossi with those EMPs and the Vikings coming forward, but still, having a ton of gateways, finally securing that third base and getting a fourth base up. Salvation is allowing HerO to claw his way back into this game.
Yeah, he definitely is, man. The 3-3 is getting close to being done. Fourth is almost there. This base is not mining efficiently. He's lost a lot of his workers. Dark Shrine going to help for maybe some more possible harassment later. There are a few turrets on the map, but I guess he's thinking, maybe I can get on the main base. Maybe I'll mess with him when he's attacking me, having to use more scans. And here goes a HerO attack, yeah.
Yep, he's going for an attack and very diligent with these counterattacks as well. Going to try to deny that 5th command center from getting up. I don't think it will be denied, but still starting to put on the pressure. And Salvation, is he going to crumble to this? If the storms are good, he definitely could.
Definitely could, man. Basic over here gets targeted down again. On the other hand, that's really important to note. Every time HerO moves out too far on the map, Salvation is here ready to punish. Has 2 medevacs, who could actually drop into the main now. I don't think there's much to defend over there. Let's see if he decides to do it. He's going to even take out the assimilator, use as much of it as he can. Heads around the side, scans. Isn't confident enough, knowing that his medevacs are on full energy. A warp-in of High Templar would actually feedback them to death. So reasonable to back away there.
Too dangerous. We're seeing Salvation now, use that advantage of this map where you can go for very nice counterattacks. And using it, as HerO has done earlier on to come back in this game, denies that 4th base once again. Going to try to deny it again, actually. May just do that. Yeah,
if he stims and targets, he will. Oh, and no cancel this time either. He wants to, I think it looks like HerO's almost just like, I'm going to try to trap your units here. How long are you going to stay? There is a nuke, by the way. Consider this, that he can use maybe to try to control this area while he attacks the third base.
2 time warps go down. They do trap the Ghosts and, stop the cannon from going down, but that's about it.
Yeah, it means no more time warps for later. Overcharge. High Templar looks like it's going to die, as well as a few of these units nearby. And here we go. He's also coming over here now to start picking off these Colossi. Good placement. Few probes and the Templar go down, and over here this base will finally, at least the location be secure, but he hasn't restarted a new Nexus. Feedback's going down over here, but he's killed a lot, Brennan. This is, again, looking like HerO is, he just doesn't have the bank that Salvation does, and when he's lacking the gas bank, it's hard to actually make these really important gas units that Protoss needs late game.
Yeah. But still, once again, able to push back the Army of Salvation. He's just trying to regroup here. He's buying a lot of time. That's what he's doing. But still, is it going to be enough time in the end? He does have the +3 finally coming out for him here, as well as Blink will make it a lot easier to defend against those medevacs.
Yep, and
the lone High Templar.
The lone
out
High
in
Templar
the desert.
out in the desert, man.
I hope he brought enough water. He's going to be there for a while.
Hope he bought enough energy to storm that army twice, if it comes around. How many ghosts were there? Like 18?
18
oh my god.
Ghosts right now for Salvation.
He's taking the island too. Going to be a bit tougher to actually attack that. You know, before that he'll have to scout it. Only QXC would scan the island, so. And the thing is, consider this: HerO's not even a Terran player. He can't even scan. Base over here is still secured, but it's getting lower and lower on minerals. That 4th base for HerO that's about to finish is so important right now. He absolutely needs that extra gas mining. And also the minerals, so he can warp in additional Zealot warp-ins, harassment. You know, just make sure he has that bank to do things like this. High Templar gets picked off for, it looks like, only a Marine. That's expensive, man.
Yep, and here's that High Templar. Could get a nice storm. A drop goes over here to the 3rd at the meantime. Storm does go down. Doesn't look like it gets much. And a snipe goes down with those cloaked ghosts. No observer over here. Just
leading the charge with only a few cloaked ghosts. Trying to scan and kill any observers he can find. 3 High Templar actually coming around for the flank. Now, this could actually be game-changing. The Vikings will spot this, it looks like. And he just needs to be careful. The observer gives vision. He storms. They hit a lot of Vikings. Not much else, though. Bio here has so much healing power in those medevacs. So even, Storm doesn't kill anything, isn't as useful. You know, obviously, it's not going to be able to be a game changer. EMP there on those Templar, and Salvation struggling to commit to an engagement. Now Ghosts at the front to tank. They have a lot of hit points, and they do a lot of damage to light units like Zealots. So not a bad choice to have these up at the front. They can also snipe anything that gets in their path.
We're seeing Salvation just continuously scan over and over and over again. If he can, you know, kill all these observers, well, of which there are 3 following that army right now and 2 elsewhere on the map, he can do so much damage with those cloaked ghosts. But look at this, HerO really confident, blinks forward, takes out a lot of Vikings.
Yeah, a lot of Vikings gone. It's hard to fight against those Colossi now. A lot of cloaked ghosts, but there's so many observers here to accompany this army. The question is, do the ghosts do enough damage themselves against the Zealots? It might be the case. Vikings now, a few of them, able to chase down those Colossi, and Salvation's Marine army without any AoE to challenge it is crushing this army. And now HerO's 4th base is going to be under attack very soon. He could decide to continue the chase. Needs to be careful about dodging the storms. So far, very diligent about doing so. +1 armor is done for HerO, as you guys can see. So he's starting to get those late game upgrades out here. But it's really what he needs is more money, and he needs more time. So he needs to keep defending here and to keep taking positive trades as best as he can.
Yep. With that Salvation, with that win in that battle, he's just going to start making a bunch of command centers. He can float them anywhere he wants. He has total map control right now. He's consistently bringing out so many of his Marines, has a ton of ghosts in this army, still making those consistently, and we're seeing HerO desperately try to get these, big gas-heavy units out here. Gets caught out a little bit here with those Stalkers, but very nice time warps on a lot of these Marines.
Great time warps here, and the Storms are good as well, and HerO is pushing his way through, taking a supply lead, in fact, here. Vikings, on the other hand, not too useful in the air now that the Colossi are gone, and the mineral bank is all but gone here for Salvation. He's got a big gas bank, but as a Terran player, that's not as useful. He's making sure he's on top of dropping every single mule he owns at that top right base to get that bio back up, because HerO now has a much larger army. The upgrades are even. He's got AoE, and I'm stressing out here for Salvation. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hang on here.
Yeah, in the hands of a more experienced Terran player here, maybe he would have ended the game already, but Salvation's having a lot of trouble ending HerO right now, and HerO, he's moving across the map. He's going to start killing a lot of these command centers before they even get to these orbitals. Yeah,
and it looks like HerO wants to do a little bit of an ending game of his own. Few of his units do get sniped here, but I think now Salvation's starting to think, well, maybe I should actually put some of my money into some planetaries, not even making orbitals, because I'm in trouble on the defense right now. Meanwhile, HerO is taking this base down at the 6 o'clock expand, and once he secures that, he's going to have that much-needed extra gas income, also a little bit more mineral income for those Zealot warp-ins. Neither player really able to afford max out constantly at this point because of the mining situation, but great storm on those Vikings, even Viking flowered on top of it, maximizing the damage there.
Yeah, Salvation helping out HerO a little bit, saying, hey, do a little bit extra damage to my Vikings. but actually he was just trying to kill out those Colossi, and they just happened to group over that very nice storm. Look at this, a ton more Zealots coming to be warped in over here, probably going to want to go for that counterattack, but is going to run into a bunch of Terran units over here.
Yeah, running into a bunch of these bio forces. One good storm, though, on top of it changes everything. Can't stick around. These High Templar that HerO is hidden all over the desert are really paying off for him. He's actually changed so many battles into his favor through that. And this has got to be very disheartening for Salvation because he had this game won. I mean, almost any other player in the booth would win this game 100% after the damage he did. But he wanted to play late game. And honestly, this style of mass orbital late game TVP hasn't really worked since like MMA. You know, we saw MMA even play in the global tournament, the GSL, and didn't go so well for him when he was trying to play late game against Parting in this matchup. With a bunch of orbitals, island bases, whatever, planetaries you want.
Yeah. The
Protoss army is much stronger in the late game, so if you let the Protoss get maxed out even once, even doesn't matter how much economy you have, it doesn't matter your bank, the Protoss army remaxes and rebuilds instantly. You have to be so careful about these engagements because one wrong step and you could lose the game.
Yeah. Once you allow the Protoss to get up to 5 bases now, you're going to have a hard time denying so many of these gateway units from coming out here. We're seeing HerO try to go to that 5th or 6th base over there, try to do some damage, but right now his Zealots are doing a ton of damage in the main base as well as the Dark Templar. Are going to warp in even more, send those over there. Always keeping like a little gap in supply so we can continuously harass the main base.
Yeah, always ready for it. DT's even, actually looks like he's going to eliminate that turret. Another turret has been built to replace it, but that's money spent. And actually I don't know if that turret's even going to finish with these Zealots coming over here. Doesn't lift these Marines, he's a bit too slow. So losing some very important army units here in those Marines. Those defensive units, and oh god, DT over here forces a scan, gets a few kills. He's targeting down all the turrets he can find so that the rest of the DTs he sends in later can be a little bit more effective, perhaps get into the main base. And those shields on the Zealots are really starting to come into play here. You can see how much more tanky they are, even fighting against Ghosts now. If you can kill a Ghost with a Zealot, then it's always going to be a good trade.
Keeps the High Templar alive there even. We're just seeing HerO just continuously, like you said, just so many High Templar on this map, just hidden. Look at all those scans going down on the map right there. He scans the main base, the natural, the 3rd, and in the middle of the map as well.
I'll scan it over here just to see if he can get this nuke off. It's for vision. And actually it will hit the assimilator. I don't think HerO notices it. So he might actually take some probes with him as well. Want to see it land. Nope, actually only loses one probe. Looks like loses a cannon, but he's got another one to replace it. So they're going to repeatedly nuke as he's got multiple Ghost Academies at this point with that extra bank. Something I do like to see. And with all these Ghost Academies, can continue to nuke the same location over and over again. It's eventually one way to stop a lot of mining. If the HerO makes one mistake, you can get a big kill. Otherwise, eventually you're spending money to kill an assimilator, which further limits gas mining.
Once again, just continuous Zealots over here, the Dark Templar. But now I think Salvation knows what's going on. He spotted that pylon from earlier on, and now he's keeping a lot of units over here. But look at this. Is it enough? The army of his is a little bit out of position.
Vikings
as HerO
need to get over there and start fighting those Colossi. You know, they need to dodge storms and split. There are 19 Vikings in this army. That's so expensive. That's so much of his army right now. And if he can send those over and start picking at the Colossi, get into a good position to zone them, there are only 6 Stalkers. So his biggest concern, of course, are the High Templar. But, you know, if he can actually get those volleys off and kill the Colossi, it doesn't matter if his Vikings die necessarily. That's the more important part, is killing those Colossi. Just be careful and cautious about how you approach this. Nice snipe over here by HerO. Looks like he's going to get that planetary. He's actually starting to get to a point where he's driving a wedge between these two bases. He hasn't quite done it yet. Yep. But he's on the verge.
That's all about the positioning there. He drew the army of Salvation all the way back, forced him to deal with all of those Zealots going into his main, and then just quickly went and used the map's, little things on the map there to his advantage. He went straight to that planetary, was able to take it out, takes out this building over here as well, and be forced to re-land.
Yep, a few more DTs being warped in. He knows he killed all those turrets earlier, so he can probably just waltz into the main base and then start killing add-ons. And possibly even, some of the units that are coming to reinforce. It just goes to show that in this matchup, HerO's the better player. To be able to come back for a situation that he was in the early game where he was down like 14 or so Harvesters and still come back against a Terran player with getting that better tech, with just defending well, taking good engagements, solid engagements. HerO is looking in shape to take this game. Salvation needs a perfect engagement, and so far he hasn't been able to set one up just yet. This could be his moment.
Sending out one Ghost first, trying to get a good EMP or maybe some snipes onto the High Templar. And Will he get it?
He needs to EMP everything. He's a blanket that army. The Vikings get some good shots. There's a good EMP. The Mothership Core is gone, so that's going to be the end of the Time Warp story here. Even EMP is one of those observers.
Naked observer there for a second.
Well, let's see. He's got a bit of a tough spot to engage in right here. The Vikings hesitating. Storms here are decent. Does he have enough? Bio on the ground? I don't think so. I think HerO's just got a bit too much for him. He's going to hold for now, though. Where's the rest of HerO's army? I've been looking at the numbers on the map. Looks like they probably were just warped in. Yeah, 12 Zealots just warped in, and with that reinforcing power, he's going to keep Salvation off of his bases, keep him in his main, most likely. Another good pick off here, but where are those Zealots at?
I'd love to see them as well. Looks like they're coming across the map.
There they are. Some of them. Yeah, okay. They're just with the army back at home.
Yeah. See, it's a ton of High Templar on the map as well right now. 11 High Templar can be made into Archons, can keep them for the Storms. And look at this. Look at this scrawny army right now, Salvation. He's down to 60 to supply. He's got nothing, man.
Yeah, he's got nothing. He just lost too many Harvesters, too, arguably. That was one of his problems, right? I mean, he just ended up losing so many of those that now he's down at 32. HerO keeps a solid 58, and even with mules, even with extra command centers, the income here is much better for HerO. And I think this may actually be the nail in the coffin.
It's looking like it. He's going to go right into the main base. Salvation's holding on for as long as possible. Look at all of these Zealots. The Matter Nexus is going to be followed up here. I saw probes coming across the map early there just for this, and there it is. Gets dropped down.
Yeah, solid play out of Salvation. No faulting him on his early build, but he just could not keep up with HerO through the mid and late game. Fell apart a little bit, did not have the confidence he needed to actually take the win. There's the dance, and there's the GG.
Salvation looking crushed, man. Was way ahead, wasn't able to put down the nail, and HerO eventually, finally comes back in a 40-minute game, takes out Salvation.
HerO definitely having a tough win there. That was a sick comeback. Solid play, almost flawless there at the end. And that's the kind of play that you need to win when you're behind. And that's the kind of player that it's great to see. Somebody who's just never going to give up, never going to lose hope. And with this, brings us to a tie score before we go into game number 3.
Yep. A lot of the IM players talking to HerO saying, you know, how do you possibly come back? Salvation pounding his keyboard. He's incredibly pissed.
You could see how happy he was when he knew he had the game won. He just wasn't able to finish. He wasn't able to follow through.
I can actually feel him stomping the ground because we're on the same
yeah, we're like right next to him.
Here, yeah.
He's definitely a bit hurt after that one. HerO looks solid though. Good win. Good important morale booster for not only him but his team to take a win like that, because like we said earlier, he did have that down arrow. He was looking a little bit in rough shape for a while there, but taking a win like this, especially after that early deficit he has, is very, very powerful. You know, for his mentality going forward.
Yeah, and also holds it together for his team. Like if Prime went up 2-0, that was going to put IM in a really, really bad spot. And at the beginning of that game, I was like, wow, is Prime actually going to go up 2-0? Do they have a much better chance than they originally thought here? Because Marine King takes a really quick game. Salvation takes possibly another.